The next thing we're going to learn about when we're talking about the graphing unit for slope is we're going to talk about finding slope from 2 points. Now, I like to always make a sketch. I usually try to always make a sketch. Doesn't have to be pretty, but I know that the point -3, +7 is somewhere, -3, +7 is somewhere up here. Okay? And I know that 9, -1 is somewhere here. So if I have a line connecting those two dots, I'm not really worried about exactly where it goes, but I know that this is going to be a negative slope. So it just gives me an idea, a self-check to know if I'm doing the right thing. The other thing I like to do is I like to label my points. So this is point 1 and this is point 2. So the way that we do this when we do it with our slope formula now is I look at this as x1, y1, my first x coordinate, my first y coordinate, my second x coordinate, and my second y coordinate. Doesn't matter which way you label them, but you want to be consistent. x1, y1, x2, y2. Now, when I talk about rise, that's my y values. So y, my vertical axis here, represents my rise of my graph. So that's what's going to be in the numerator. So to find the difference between the two, I need to subtract. So my slope formula is actually going to be this, y2 minus y1, which is just the difference between my vertical values. And then it's going to be x2 minus x1, which is just the difference between my horizontal values. So it's still going to give me my rise and my run. You might have heard it as delta x and delta y. You might have heard that in science class too. Okay, that is just another representation to say the difference between y and the difference between x. Now that I've gone ahead and I've labeled my points x1, y1, x2, y2 already, and I have my formula, I can basically just do a substitution here. So it's going to be y2 minus y1 all over x2, which is 9, minus x1, which is -3. So this is the same thing as adding 3, because when we take something away that's negative in our life, it's a positive, right? So -1, take away 7 more is -8. 9 plus 3 is +12. And then if I reduce this, I can divide top and bottom by 4. So -8 divided by 4 is -2. 12 divided by 4 is 3, so my slope is -2/3. That means that to get from one point to the next, I have to go down 2/3, and I can repeat that as many times as I want to. Okay, again, x1, y1, x2, y2, basic little sketch, okay? 0, -3 is right there. 0, +3 is right there. If I connect those with a line, it's going to be vertical. I know it doesn't look vertical, but it's a vertical line. I don't even have to do any calculations here. If I know that that's a vertical line, it's going to be an undefined slope, but I'll do it. y2 minus y1, starting off with my equation, which is 3 take away -3, all divided by 0 minus 0, which is just 6/0, so it's undefined. Again, quick sketch, -10 is down here, +10 minus 10 is right here. That's a horizontal line, so it's going to have a 0 slope. Checking that mathematically, this is x1, y1, x2, y2, y2 minus y1, all over x2 minus x1, which is just the difference in the rise over the run, -10 minus -10, all over 10 minus -10, which is going to be 0/20, which just gives me a 0 slope. So we've done we've done negative, undefined, and 0. Let's look at one more example here. -3, -5 is down here somewhere. 6, 7 is up here somewhere. Now, the one thing we could look at here quickly is if I have these 2 points labeled, and I wanted to, I could count up. To go from -5 to +7 is up 5 plus 7 more, which is 12. So that would be up 12. And to go from -3 to +6 is right 9. So my slope is actually going to be 12 over 9. And if I reduce that, it's going to be 4 over 3. That's just by counting on my graph, right? Now that I've done my little sketch, I can count. Let's check it mathematically here. So if I have x1, y1, x2, y2, it's going to be 7 take away -5 all over 6 take away -3. These are both going to be adding because we're taking away something bad in our life. So this is going to be +12 all over +9, which reduces to 4 over 3. And it's a positive slope, which means that as I move left to right on my graph paper, my line is going to increase.